Okay, come on, technology. There we go. What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here with our game 3 of the BFO Surge tournament. We are currently 1-1, which means if you guys don't know how the tournament brackets don't happen until the guarantee after 5 games. But right now, these are the qualifying rounds into brackets. So in round 1, we face off against 123 Berber, and in a very, very, very close 2-0 loss. I think it was a 2-0 loss to us. I think it was. I could not be top of my head, sure on that. Then we took on the good man, the myth, the legend, King of Heat himself, Razor Claw. And these are a little bit of spoilers in case you haven't. I believe we beat him, I think 2 or 3-0, I think. I don't remember. So right now we're riding on really good momentum, and how the tournament works is that we will take on players that have the same exact record as us, not differential, but record. So we take on another coach that was one in this tournament rounds, and which why we are taking on Coach Jabel, which is a very good team on their end. They have the team up Tyranitar, Donphan, Meloetta, Talonflame, Hatrin, got get that name right, Klefki, and Samurai. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was so happy not to see Samurott in this matchup. Samurott actually did a lot of work. Like a Scarf Samurott set really put out a lot of work against my team. So that was what's up. And you may be wondering, why is this just post-com? You'll actually see near the end of the video why, and I will explain my reasoning behind that as well. But real quick, let's talk about the transactions we made. We dropped a Brute Bonnet and picked up Gallade. I think Gallade is the... No, actually, we dropped up Rotom Heat. My bad. I want to actually use the proper order. Well, actually, Gallade was first, but let's just talk about it. But we have Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat I picked up because I really needed a ground switching on this team, and I also just relatively needed a fire type. I don't really check grass types all that well against my team. Like, my only technical grass check was Brute Bonnet, but certain grasses do get coverage for that. I mean, Brute Bonnet kind of did as well, but not like the greatest. And Clodsire can't really beat grasses 1v1 unless they're like super defensive grasses, and then it can kind of beat them 1v1 in some way. But it really wasn't going to do stuff, you know what I mean? So, and then we dropped Metacham, which I'm not going to lie, I was a little heartbroken to do that, but after what happened in game 1 with, the Spirit Tomb and not me having anything besides potentially just my Tinkaton to check it, I really needed something that handled that and really was able to put on some good offensive pressuring on my side. And that's where I had to bring in Gallade. Gallade is so great. 20 base speed, or I guess they're the exact same speed, I guess. But Gallade has access to sharpness, which is really good. It takes advantage of a lot more versatility in terms of its sets, running agility, Life Orb, Choice Bandit, Choice Scarf, like a lot more versatility, and I think a lot more of a threatening presence than Medicham does. Like, don't get me wrong, pure power Medicham is really strong, but Medicham kind of relies itself to be Scarf. I mean, we were able to prove why it can be definitely a little bit more than just Scarf, but it takes a lot to make it really good in terms of building its defenses. So I overall went with these two. I definitely think they made the team a lot better already. We do get to actually make 2 more transactions at the maximum in the next game, believe it or not. In the last 2 games of the tournament season before brackets are released, we do get to draft one more time for the last 2 games of the season, and this is when we're bringing out the big guns, some really big, cool Pokemon. I could be wrong, and we could be drafting 2 more times, but I do think these last 2 games are in one more draft. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and you'll find that out later. But with that being said, let's get into the matchup. So looking at Jabel's team, they did not bring Samurott, as I said. I'm so happy they didn't bring Samurott. Samurott was actually a really big problem for my team to deal with. Scarf Samurott was very annoying and definitely was not really that great of a mon for my matchup. So I had to do what I did. So looking at their team here, there's a couple things they wanted to lead, and I wanted to lead to kind of really bathe in it. So I was expecting them potentially to lead with potentially Donphan here, in case they wanted to set up rocks, they wanted to do anything like that in any situation or something like that. So there was that, but yeah. So with that being said, so I decided to leave with Zoroark, and I decided to disguise as Rotom, like I said. So in comes my Zoroark here against the Meloetta. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, this is perfect. There's a good chance that they will not click. There's a good chance that they're not clicking Psychic when I have a Tinkaton right there. They can possibly click Hyper Voice because I don't have a switch in at all. They're not gonna know if it's Zoroark or anything like that. But unfortunately, they click U-turn, and they actually are going to reveal my Zoroark, which is unfortunate. But in comes Tyranitar, I get a nasty plot off. So now I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at this calc here, and I believe I am modest on this thing. Modest +2, even in the sand, with a max HP Tyranitar and a max Sped F Tyranitar, this dies in sand. So I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. I'm clicking Focus Blast. I'm putting my fate into Violet. But I come to find out this is a choice Scar Tyranitar, which I'm not gonna lie to you, that is some freaking heat tech. I really like that bring. Because the reason why I like that bring, I believe Tyranitar can outspeed Gallade. I'm not completely wrong on that, I don't think. But also, you look at the matchup right here. They only need to run like Adamant Scar to outspeed max speed Hisuni and Zoroark, really. So I actually really like the set. It's a really cool set. But thanks God to the Cobra Berry and my investment and landing that Focus Blast, Tyranitar drops. But unfortunately, we do lose our Zoroark, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to go into my Rotom. They are actually going to go into their Hatterene, Hatchram. I'm going to get those wrong. I'm going to go for the Nasty Claws. They actually go for the Psy Shock here, which doesn't really do any damage. It proves to them that I am very physically defensive. But I'm going to fire off a Dark Pulse and unfortunately nag a flinch, and I do think that flinch plays a big factor into this game. But now you see here that they've got eject button Klefki, which is some pretty good fire bring right there to really kind of keep momentum shifting on their side, which was really cool on their end. Now, I do think that flinch does play a bit of a dividend at the end of the game here because it could have definitely affected one or two things in the changing of what could have happened. Like, for example, if they don't flinch me, they click Psyshock here. I click Dark Pulse. They probably can just sack this. They go this. They can revenge me easily. But since I got the flinch, I now guarantee lift this Psychic and get Dark Pulse chip damage off on the Meloetta. I go ahead and then just sack Rotom off just because I don't really need it. I go into my Tinkaton and I'm clicking Gigaton Hammer. But I decided to be the Draft League player and predict the Talonflame to come in. And unfortunately, there is going to be a Donphan in my presence. So unfortunately, I'm gonna use Giga's on Hammer here, which only did 37%, which definitely proved that this was almost like max HP, max defense. Because max HP Donphan only takes about 44 to a potential 50 some percent, so potential 2 KO. But unfortunately for me, what's also really good about this is that means Tinkaton can guarantee live an Earthquake here, and now goes for Play Rough here to get some even more chip damage on the Donphan, which is really cool. Which then reveals to be Rocky Helmet, which is really good. Then the knockout with Tinkaton. I go right into Gallade. I just click Leaf Blade. I was very hesitant a little bit to click Leaf Blade there, just because I felt like the Talonflame could have been an easy switch in right here. But luckily for me, they did it. So it's really, really good for us there. So they decided to sack off Hatchram. God dang it, I'm going to keep calling it Hatterene. Hatchram, which I think was definitely a smart play. I don't think it really did anything else for its usage in there. But then they're going to go Talonflame here. And now this is the moment I have Cobra Berry here to be able to take this Talonflame's Brave Bird. Talonflame's Brave Bird, which is really, really cool. So, but they actually make a really smart play right here. And it was a play that didn't even came across my thought process here. And they actually go for the Flare Blitz. And I'm not going to lie to you, a part of me definitely feels like I wish I had went with agility on this set. Like agility, Brick Break, Leaf Blade, and Night Slash. I think it was what the main for. I believe I had Psycho Blade as well, but I actually really look at the matchup. Really didn't need psychic coverage. I think if I just went with my with my one stab and two coverage, agility at that point in time would have been just free right there, and I could have potentially had one. Oh, Rock Slide, the duh, I'm stupid. Like Leaf Blade, Brick Break, and like whatever I had left as well, that could have been really good. But I do live this Flare Blitz really well because I am relatively bulky in my HP and defenses. I'm going to get rid of this Talonflame, which is really massive. Now, I was looking at the calcs with this Meloetta here, and I actually looked at what Hyper Voice's maximum damage actually does. Its maximum damage, I believe, actually just does less than 40. It does just barely under 48%. I think maybe it does a maximum of close to 50%. But basically, the roll, if not, I'm guaranteed to live this hit. But that's when they reveal Psyshock, and Psyshock actually guaranteed always knocks me out. So at first I was like going to be pissed off about a roll or something like that, but didn't play a matter. So I'm going to go ahead and click Earthquake here as this Donphan comes in. Now this was I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is where they also are very upset with how things turned. And again, I don't know how this would affect. I guess it could have mattered potentially, but I do think maybe this was potentially a roll. But I do pick up a crit on this Dawn Fan here. Now the crit, again, you can argue and say it mattered, it did matter. Actually, if I have my calc still in here, we can actually look at that real quick for you guys. Dawn Fan. Earthquake was doing so like I said, and he had to have been like max biz dev. Actually, yeah, that crit 100% mattered. Damn, I'm actually very sorry. That crit 100% mattered. Actually, now looking at it now, and I didn't even say this in the first round, I didn't even check the count. That crit 100% mattered. I am very sorry, Jabel. I didn't think that crit mattered at all, but I guess it really did. So I'm very sorry about that crit. Because here's another reason why, guys, as I was originally water absorbed to counter the Samurott, but I was Payapa Bear, which means I guaranteed lived any psychic move this thing win for. I killed that guaranteed. Klefki comes in, and Luxury now basically guarantees a 2-hit KO. They go for Switcheroo, which is a pretty cool tech. Wild Charge, you're going to see here. I get the guaranteed 2-hit KO, and yeah, this is the main reason why I'm post-comming. Uh, I don't know if they got disconnected. They decided just not to want to play the game and finish out that last turn because they were salty or something like that, possibly. I don't know. But Sparks basically guaranteed the 2 AKR right here, as you guys will see, to this Klefki here. As you can see that the range it was at versus my Luxray set here, I am guaranteed to do 37 to 43% maximum to a max HP, max defense Klefki. Now we look back and like say like look at last turn, it was at 76%. We got a good roll on that one, and again, if we did 37% to a what a 76, like if we did like 37 right there. That's just right at the range, basically, to again die to the Sin plus Klefki never 2 KOs me, and plus with Intimidate, it never would have won. So again, I only click timer just because I don't want to just be forced to sit there and just wait and wait and wait for them to get back on when we already know that it was guaranteed that I won at this point. So I did explain it in the post game section of the server. So if anyone still needs to have me like question or talked about, I'm more than willing to do it and talk about it. But I also wanted to explain it for you guys here, which is really kind of good that I was able to do a post com. But again, also explained it in the video. So yeah, but we're gonna move on to now being 2-1, which is really cool. Which means we're gonna go ahead and advance into either the next game or the last two games of the playoff rounds, and we're going to face off against opponents that do have the same record as us, which means we could face off against some very skilled and talented players out there. People like Addison, Kurt, Shaykwaza, Q, JV, Vepsis, Shuckle King. Like the names can go on and on and on. We won't know who we're facing until draft pools are done and until the rounds are made up. So I don't know who I'm facing, but I'm looking forward to the next round. I'm definitely gonna be looking into what I can maybe do to either add something to this team or change this team a little bit more. But we put in some really good work with this team so far. Let's hopefully ride this momentum going to the next and last two rounds of the BFO Surge. And we'll see if we can make a comeback from Showdown, but also make another push like we did in Wi-Fi to make the bracket. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Phil Shocker, 96 and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!